Is Arsenal lucky, or should they be concerned after narrowly avoiding a ticking time bomb named Thomas Partey, a player once considered a key figure in midfield and patiently backed by manager Mikel Arteta during his injury spells? Yet now, with his contract set to expire in less than a week, Partey has officially been charged with multiple counts of rape and sexual assault related to incidents from 2021-2022. Everything happened so quickly and abruptly, leaving behind an uncomfortable silence that lingered for 3 years. It's hard not to feel uneasy knowing the entire case had been kept under wraps until Partey's contract with Arsenal expired. Football is sometimes a place of miracles, but in this story, it reveals the dark corners no one wants to confront. The question is, when did Arsenal know? And if they did know, why was Partey still allowed to play 2 full seasons in the Premier League? While there is no definitive evidence to reach a conclusion, a sense of unease remains. Had Arsenal renewed Partey's contract just a few weeks earlier, they might have faced a serious media crisis, legal backlash, and fan boycott. Or perhaps nothing at all, had the contract been signed as usual. First of all, it must be emphasized that Partey is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The information below is for reference only and is not intended to draw conclusions or make accusations. And perhaps these are things that many Arsenal fans in Vietnam might not want to hear right now. Former midfielder Thomas Partey has officially been charged with 5 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault, according to a statement from the Crown Prosecution Service, CPS. These charges involve 3 different women, with the alleged incidents taking place between 2021 and 2022. Previously, Partey's identity was withheld for legal reasons. However, after his contract with Arsenal expired on June 30th, 2025, full details of the case began to surface. What has sparked public outrage is the fact that Partey continued to play for Arsenal throughout the investigation, which reportedly began in February 2022. This has raised serious questions about the club's ethical and legal responsibilities in handling such sensitive information. In a statement sent to The Athletic, Arsenal declined to comment due to ongoing legal proceedings. Jaswant Narwal, a CPS spokesperson, confirmed that after reviewing documents submitted by the London Metropolitan Police, prosecutors decided to press charges based on the evidence gathered. Our prosecutors have worked closely with the police to make an appropriate decision. Criminal proceedings are now active, and the defendant has the right to a fair trial. Detective Inspector Andy Furby of the Metropolitan Police also stated that their current priority is supporting the victims and urged anyone with relevant information to contact the investigation team via email cita.h@police.uk. Through his lawyer Jenny Wilshire, Partey has denied all charges and stated that he has fully cooperated with the authorities over the past 3 years. He is now hoping to clear his name in court. For legal reasons, my client will not be making any further comment at this time, Wilshire said. Thomas Partey is ready to clarify everything and defend his reputation. On the evening of July 4th, a group of Arsenal supporters against sexual violence issued a statement expressing deep disappointment over how the club handled the matter. They renewed their call to immediately suspend any player under criminal investigation, emphasizing, "This has never been just about one individual." Currently, the comments section under the article on The Athletic has been disabled to ensure compliance with UK legal proceedings. For many social activists, the most disappointing aspect is that Arsenal did not suspend Thomas Partey, even though they had known he was under investigation for years. They pointed out that in most professions, a person accused of a serious crime would be immediately suspended as soon as the employer is informed. Meanwhile, Partey played 53 matches last season and a total of 56 matches across the 2 previous seasons while out on bail. He also featured in 3 matches at the 2022 World Cup for the Ghana national team. Throughout that period, Partey was regularly targeted by opposing fans from the stands, even though the media could not legally reveal his identity. Off the pitch, activist groups repeatedly gathered in front of the Emirates Stadium to protest Arsenal's continued use of Partey. Several lawyers have also argued that Arsenal should have suspended Partey once the investigation reached a serious stage. Lawyer Dino Nociavelli, who has worked on many high-profile sports cases, stated, "Allowing a defendant to continue playing throughout a serious investigation is wrong and sends a terrible message, especially in the context of such serious allegations of rape and sexual assault. He should have been suspended, at least until the club and the FA reached a clear conclusion." Compared to similar cases, Arsenal's handling has drawn even more criticism. Manchester United suspended Mason Greenwood immediately after his arrest in 2022, and Manchester City suspended Benjamin Mendy without pay for 2 years before he left the club. After being found not guilty, Mendy later won a lawsuit and recovered most of his unpaid wages. What angered the public most was the fact that Arsenal were still negotiating a contract extension with Partey right before the charges were made public, even though signs already indicated that the club would not retain him. Partey's contract officially ended on June 30th, and Arsenal have reportedly begun talks with Christian Norgard of Brentford as a potential replacement. Arsenal, the FA, and the Premier League are now facing a series of serious questions. It is known that the FA received a complaint as early as 2022, but after conducting a risk assessment, they concluded that Partey did not pose a threat to minors or vulnerable adults in a football environment. Last year, nearly 9,000 fans signed a petition calling for Arsenal to suspend Partey and demanding stricter policies for players accused of serious criminal offenses. In a statement from the group Arsenal Supporters Against Sexual Violence, they wrote, "While we acknowledge the principle of innocent until proven guilty, the club's decision to continue selecting and promoting a player under investigation for sexual misconduct is extremely troubling. It gives the impression that on-field performance matters more than respect for survivors." Horna Barber, one of the group's co-founders, said she finds it increasingly difficult to support the club she loves. "I'm at the stadium and have to listen to opposing fans chant about this case, while there's not a single word of objection from Arsenal supporters. This isn't just another rivalry narrative in football. It's far more serious than that." Barber, along with many other supporters, has marched outside the Emirates Stadium during nearly every match this season, arguing that the issue is no longer just about Partey. "We are fully aware that 7 out of 20 Premier League clubs have had players under investigation for sexual violence. A player can be suspended just for arriving late to training, yet someone facing multiple rape allegations continues to play regularly. That is simply unacceptable." According to The Telegraph, Arsenal acted based on legal advice throughout the process and has remained silent, citing ongoing legal proceedings. The club's only official response so far has been, the player's contract ended on June 30th. It wasn't the media, the FA, or justice advocacy groups who took the first action. It was Andrea Berta, Atletico Madrid's sporting director, who removed Partey from a major project. And most recently, he may have saved Arsenal from a full-blown crisis. Back in 2020, Berta pushed for Partey's departure from Atletico for non-sporting reasons, even though the midfielder was considered a key part of the squad. It was a controversial decision, but ultimately a matter of differing perspectives in personnel management. Fast forward to 2025, Partey reportedly demanded a substantial salary for a contract renewal, and Arsenal declined. According to multiple sources, Berta and Mikel Arteta had already decided not to extend his stay, and they were right. Had Arsenal renewed Partey's contract, the club could have faced an unprecedented media storm, a major blow to its reputation, and a total breakdown of its image as a model of ethics and sustainable development. They would also have faced fierce backlash from their own loyal fan base, many of whom had been protesting for months. Worst of all, they could have ended up paying a massive salary to a player who might be unavailable due to legal proceedings, or even sentenced to prison. Arsenal narrowly escaped, just in time. Someone who once seemed like a liability may have, in the end, protected the club from collapse. The London Metropolitan Police have now officially issued a warrant for Thomas Partey's arrest, and after years of silence, this legal spiral may finally be reaching its conclusion. A conclusion filled with conflicting emotions, public outrage, sympathy for those harmed, and quiet relief from those who once placed their trust in the wrong person. For Arsenal fans, this isn't a victory, but at the very least, the club did not make the final mistake. They chose not to extend Partey's contract, even though it had been under serious consideration. Most importantly, they had a responsible replacement ready. Christian Norgard is expected to bring both tactical stability and strong character, at a time when modern football still struggles with deep ethical issues. Sometimes, a timely decision doesn't just change the course of one player's career, it can save an entire club from being dragged under by off-field mistakes.